Hello, amazing teachers. You haven't heard from me in a while, but I wanted to come on since it is the end of semester one and have a quick video showing you how to plan for semester two with Schoology. There's going to be a lot to this video, so please watch the entire thing so that you don't miss any part of it. I will go kind of quickly through some of the parts, but the good thing about the video is that you can pause it and rewind it at any point because I know it's going to be faster. Too fast for some of you all, but to know you can go back and revisit that part of the video. I want to keep it short and sweet so that it won't be too long. So first thing I want to talk about is dashboards. So whenever I go to my Schoology account and I click on courses, the only thing that comes up here are the top 12. So if I had two more courses there, that would be all I'd be able to see here. So some of your students' dashboards are crazy because essentially for a secondary, they should have 7 periods. So they should have 7. They probably have an advisory that would make 8, maybe a counselor 9. So they should never get over 12 on their dashboard. Some of the elementary ones I've seen up to like 16 things. So this is going to be a great time of the year for all of us to clean up our dashboards, or mostly clean up the students because kids can't delete things that are on their dashboard. They have to be removed or the course has to be deleted. So we're going to talk about that. One thing I also want to show you is that we're going to talk about in here is how to name our courses when we get ready to redo these because I wanted to show you an example of a student. My poor son gets to be the example here, but you can see his courses here. As a parent, it can get really confusing on what courses are what. So like I know that this is his first period library lessons. Here's first period, that's his subject, but I don't know who the teacher is. I mean, I do, but by looking at this, I can't. Like I know this is the pre-AP math, but I don't know what period it is. I don't know who the teacher is. This one I know the teacher and the period and what it is. So it's just a matter of kind of looking and making sure they're all named in a uniform way so that parents can have a better understanding when they're on their Schoology accounts looking. So we're going to talk about all that in the video today, and I'll keep it as short as I can. So first of all, you remember that first week and a half of school whenever eSchool filtered into Schoology and courses were just brought in automatically, and there was a little bit of a hot mess. So a week and a half into school, we cut off eSchool talking to Schoology to make that transition easier and give you more control over your Schoology account. Some teachers had no problem whenever the courses were rostered into them. They had no problem, and they kept the courses in Schoology as they were. They linked sections. And then we had some teachers who were like, I'm cleaning it up, I'm starting fresh. And so I want to show you what to do in either situation. So here's a teacher, Miss Hum, from Sylvan Hills Middle School. Her courses were okay through Schoology. The only thing is here, whenever I go to her course and I look under edit information, whenever they were brought in through eSchool, every quarter was selected here, and you can't unselect them. So essentially, if she doesn't do anything different second semester with her courses, even though these students are not going to be in a different class period, if she doesn't do something differently, then her third and fourth quarter will average with her first and second quarter, probably confusing the parent and the student. So we're going to do a new course for all classes. Okay, let me show you this one. So Mr. Tyson at Maumelle Middle School, he wiped all of his courses, deleted them all at the very beginning of the year that were brought in from eSchool. He went into his courses and he set his up so that he only has first quarter and second quarter selected. So as of December 18th, guys, everything's going to be off. On December 19th, kids are not going to have access to this course any longer. You still will as a teacher. Either way, you will still have access to it and be able to go in and make changes, but kids cannot add anything after December 18th. So just a little reminder there. So either way the courses are made, we want to make sure that kids and parents are as least confused as possible. So we're going to talk about how to create new courses for second semester. And some of you may be thinking, well, I'm elementary. Does this apply to me? K2, you're a little bit different because you have standards-based, but some of you may want to start kind of fresh and have a new course. I can tell you this, if you have it on your dashboard and their kids assigned to it, they have it on their dashboard. So this is a good time to think about how you can clean up and make it easier for students. So let's get started with how to do that. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on courses at the top of my page. And then I'm going to click on My Courses to the right-hand side. So in Miss Hum's situation, at the end, since all 4 quarters are picked, at the end of the 9 weeks, she will need to go in and delete that course. And that sounds kind of scary. Like, if I delete the course, where's all this stuff going to go? It's still going to be under My Courses here under Deleted Courses, but it just won't be accessible to the students any longer. Mr. Tyson's class, since he has it set for only first and second quarter, it will automatically go off of the students' dashboards on December 19th. But he'll have this little part right here in his dashboard. It says archived, and that's where his archived courses will live. Okay, so neither one, whether you delete it or archive it, your courses are still there for you to go back to. All right, so let's talk about how to set up courses for second semester and what's going to be the easiest way. So whenever you go to Courses and My Courses, you can go over here to the right-hand side and hit Create a Course. And we did this whenever we were creating our sandbox courses at the beginning of the year, but I did find a little trick that might be easier for some of you, because some of you teach the same subject all day. Some of you have, like, I'm thinking of PE teachers, as PE art, music, history teacher, or history, music, art, PE teachers in elementary. This is going to be great for you, what I'm about to show you, because it's going to make your life maybe a little bit easier as well. So first thing you do whenever you click on Create a Course is make sure your school is picked. I'm just going to choose Small Mill Middle. And right here for course name, and I'll put this in the email explanation as well. So for the course name, we're all going to put what the actual course is. If it is PE, if it is Algebra 1, if it is World History, if it is Economics, whatever the course is, you're going to put the course title there. So I'm just going to use Pre-Algebra as my example. Some things might come up underneath here, and just click off of it because you want it to be what you want it to be. So the course name for this that I'm going to do is Pre-Algebra. It has an asterisk, so I have to have that part. The course name, or the section name, is where we're going to get a little bit unique here. We're going to call this, no matter what you teach, you're going to call it what period. Again, if you are elementary here, this will be a good place to put what it is. Like if it is like PE, you may want to put like Miss Lewis's PE, Miss Lewis's PE, Miss Blackwell's PE. Like you may want to put the actual, instead of the section name, because you don't have periods, you may want to put in there what class period it is. Okay, so but I'm going to put this as my first period, and I'm going to put dash and then my name, my last name. So now when a parent looks at this dashboard for second quarter or second semester, they're going to see this is Miss Blackwell's first period pre-algebra class. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. It will help the student and it will help the parents out. Okay. You'll want to pick what the subject area is. In this case, this is math. My grade level here is 8th. But if it was like an 8th to a 10th grade or a 9th and 10th grade class, you can add a range. So you can say blank to blank. So just to let you know that. And then again, I'm only going to pick 3rd and 4th. Now I can, if you notice here, guys, third doesn't start until January 5th. So on January 4th, the kids are still not going to see this. And so you can go ahead and start playing with this and getting this set up, because kids, even if you add kids to it, they're not going to see it till January 5th. So just to let you know that. So starting this now would be great. So if I wanted to, I could create this one right here and be done with it and do that for every period. But here is where some fun can happen and some things might be a little bit easier for you. So if I teach pre-algebra, say 3 periods a day, instead of creating a new course for every period, I can go up here where it says use section or add a section right here. And I'm going to click add a section. So say that my 3rd period is also pre-algebra. So I'm going to call this 3rd period Blackwell. And then maybe my 6th period is also pre-algebra. Okay, so this is a great way now that all 3 of these courses are going to be linked. And so every kid is essentially in each period is going to see theirs as just their period. But for you as a teacher, you're only having to post information one time for that content for that subject. So pre-algebra, I can make the assignment. It's going to go into all the kids' things separately, but I only have to do it one time. And that really becomes nice whenever remember when we add a Google Drive assignment, how you have to go into every period and relink the file? Now you don't have to worry about that if you use this method. Okay, so I'm going to show you what that looks like on the other end here in just a second. So all I did is I clicked add section. So you may have all of your classes maybe the same thing. If that is, then you can link all 5 of them. I would personally not worry about separating my virtual from my in-person because I know they're separated in eSchool, but it might be easier as far as a course and assigning stuff just to be under one. That's, again, up to you. Elementary, I can see this being really helpful, especially for your PE music classes, because you can do one that's like first grade and you put all the first grade teachers in each of the different sections. So this will be really great. So I'm gonna go ahead and create this one and I'm gonna show you what it looks like down here. All right, so now if I go to my courses icon here, you see this one right here, it's called pre-algebra, and I have 3 different ones linked. So I only have one icon right here for it. All right, so oops. So here it is right here. I have first, third, and sixth. So you're thinking here, you're like, oh, first thing remember you need to do is go and set up your grade book. If you want to, you can go into the course that you have now and just transfer that grade book, and I'll show you how to do that. But if you look here under members, when I want to go in and add the kids for my first period class, notice up here, only first period class is selected. So I can click add members. I have to change mine. So if I wanted Bo to be in my class, I could find him. I could add him to this class. Okay. Say I want to start adding people to my 6th period class. I just have to go up here under members, go to my 6th period. It's only me right now. And I can go in and add another member. I'm just using kids I know, so. Okay, and so I'm adding her as a member. And then I need to add some kids to my other class, and I would just click on it. So you can add kids here separately. Notice over here in the grade book, even though these 3 classes are linked into my grade book, they're all separate. Like Bo's the only one in my first period class, 6th period class is only Ivy. So I still have separate grade books, even though 3 of those are linked. So members and grade book, you can still do those separately. Okay, but say that I have this course over here. I'm going to use Mr. Tyson's as an example. So say he's already done a lot of the work here on his gradebook setup. He has it all perfect. He knows like these are the 3 things. Instead of having to recreate the wheel here, he can go up here and he can copy the settings from something he did first semester. So he says, I'm going to give all these categories, the grading scales, all that. I'm going to give that to something else. I'm going to give it to this right here as well. Then if he copies those over here, and I just went to course copy settings, I picked the class I wanted to go to. If I go back in here to the class that I just created, and I go under gradebook setup, now all the things that I did were already set up from the last one. So there's a lot of things that we can do automatically here. We don't have to recreate the wheel. You can go under materials and you can copy things from the courses. So if you have your Google Meet link, some of you may want to redo that. That would be an option for you to redo that. So you can kind of recreate this. I can go to find a cute banner. Some of y'all are use different banners for different things. So say I have a pre-algebra. There we go. I'll just use this right here. So I'm just going to screenshot this pre-algebra right here. And that way, maybe you want to go in and edit your pictures and add new pictures there. Things like that you can do. You can make it fun, make it interesting. Anything that's going to identify your class, let me go to the recent, is going to help your students. Oops, that screenshot's what I want to do first. So that way I can help my kids out there. So that right there is setting up courses. And that is the suggestion I do, is maybe linking these courses. That will help you a lot in having to reproduce materials as teachers. Also remember, I'll put in our email, the course, the model that we want you to use, the template, is to use the course name, what period is, dash the teacher's last name, to help parents and students keep up with what classes are each. That was something you couldn't change whenever they filtered in from eSchool before. You had to give exactly what it says. But I want everybody, no matter if your courses were brought in from eSchool or if they were brought in via, if you create them yourself, I think everybody creating new, fresh courses for second semester will help a lot. I will tell you this, though. If you don't go into your courses, though, like if Ms. Hum doesn't go in after this is done and delete that course, then that's still going to be on the students' dashboards in January. So she'll want to make sure probably on January 4th that she'll go in and delete those courses off of the dashboard. And that way the kids are starting fresh come Tuesday, January 5th when they come back to class. Last but not least is we are creating a instructional technology help page. We used to have a website. It's just very hard to keep up with a website. So we decided just to add this to our ClassLink portal. So this will be a page that we update in here. There'll be different sections depending on what topics we need help with. Right now is Schoology. We're going to add some information about Cami coming up soon. But I like this because this is Schoology's Help Center where you can find information, their YouTube channel. And guys, they have had these on-demand webinars through Schoology that are about an hour each. This one right here, this tips and tricks for the end of the term, were really great. I just watched that one the other day. Even though they're only an hour long, I find myself taking longer because I like to pause and practice that myself. But if this is something, if any of these interest you, they're on that for you on that web linked. And last but not least, I have some tutorial videos here. I'm still recreating some of these with the easiest way, but I will get all those linked. And if there's something that I don't have that you're interested in, please let me know, and we will get that added to this help page. So you'll start seeing this on your ClassLink dashboard pretty soon. We don't have it on there, but I will put the information in the email. So just be looking for that. So I hope this helps. I hope you get ready, or you get everything set up for second semester, and that the second semester will be even better than the first. So have a great day.